Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Mortgage Coach Connecting the Dots. I'm Megan Hastings, your host, and today we have two incredible guests who are here to share their insights and experience in the mortgage industry. Whether you're looking to build a dynamic team within a brokerage or venture into the world of starting your own brokerage, today's discussion is sure to offer valuable takeaways.
In our brokerage, we have a diverse range of experiences and expertise, and we brought that into the studio today. Our first guest has successfully built and leads a team of 60 insurance agents and is now looking to replicate that success in the mortgage industry. Our second guest is a seasoned veteran who's ready to take the plunge and open his own mortgage brokerage. I'm really excited to hear their insights and plans, so let's get started.
Absolutely. So let's start by introducing our guests. Please welcome Ian Barnett, who has a remarkable track record in team building, and Edward Ricciardi, whose name I just learned to pronounce properly yesterday after knowing him for 10 years. A mortgage broker with years of experience who's ready to share his journey of starting a brokerage. Welcome to both of you.
Good to be here. Thanks.
Can both of you give us a brief introduction to yourselves since when you specifically entered the mortgage industry?
So I'm actually a licensed engineer. I was an engineer for 15 years and then had this huge downturn in the industry and I left it and I said, I'd never live in a cube again. So I decided to explore the world of self-employment. I got started into insurance. Actually, I got my mortgage license first and then I migrated to insurance before ever activating it. And then, halfway through my insurance, once my brokerage or my team was going pretty well, I decided, hey, let's add mortgages as an additional, offering or service to the clients for the existing practice. And so 2021, I made sure I didn't lose my license and reactivated it. And just been working at it ever since from both sides. And I find it's a great way those two industries play really well together. So it's been really successful.
Also, there is a real natural partnership between those two industries.
Absolutely, for sure.
Hi, I'm a former banker among quite a few other endeavors, but banking led me down the path of finance and enjoying finance, doing business loans back then. And then when that came to a time to make a decision, somebody told me about being in the mortgage industry world, and it's still your own business being under an umbrella of corporate entities. So I thought that was pretty appealing. That was 17 years ago. Been doing mortgages and learning and getting stronger since then.
I didn't realize it was actually 17 years. Ian, can you tell us a little bit about your experience in leading the team of insurance agents that you have and how, or maybe what your plans are to being able to apply that model to building a mortgage team?
Well, I found early on and during the recruitment part of it, so many people get into the industry and they're of the employee mindset, right? Like school prepares you that way, your work experience, you come in that way. So the biggest hurdle to get over is to transition from that employee mindset to not only a business mindset, a business owner mindset, but also an entrepreneurial mindset, right? So as an entrepreneur, multiple streams of income is where everything is at, right? So by having an established insurance thing, like we talked about, the mortgage plays so well together with it, showing my existing team, hey, what's available, what can be possible by doing multiple streams, not keeping all your eggs in one basket. It's really opening their view and their mindset of what it means to be an entrepreneur, as opposed to I sell insurance, I do mortgages. I'm an entrepreneur, I have my hands in multiple different things. So that's sort of the transition I'm looking at to initially start the team. But from there, by having something established at that point in time, it'd be easier to reach out to people who maybe not in that space, to bring them on and show them successes from my transition from insurance to mortgages.
I love that. I love that you've made that observation of how often we have people join our teams that still have an employee mindset when really our world is entrepreneurial, and then being able to shift that mindset with them, that's really powerful.
It's a huge.
So Edward, as someone who's been in the mortgage industry for 17 years, what inspired you to take the lead and start your own brokerage?
I've been thinking about that, and I think the most obvious to me was I needed a change. I needed to make a change. 17 years doing this. It was, I really liked it, but then there's ups and downs, and I went through a period of looking for change, and I was looking to build another business somewhere else, because one of the endeavors I had previous to this was a couple of nutrition stores. I used to love teaching my customers about their bodies and their nutrition needs. The affinity to teaching my clients about their finance and finding a solution for them was natural. One of the markers that made me pivot in my thinking was a business coach that told me, why are you've built a successful business, you've got a good portfolio of mortgage clients, why are you changing? That made me think, you're right. Why not use that and pivot to another journey? So I thought now was the perfect time to build my own brokerage, but not to leave and build a brokerage, because we have the relation with the mortgage coach and our mortgage alliance network. It's the perfect time to be an affiliate, build a team under there, and just show people how to find solutions.
First of all, I love that we have the ability now to be able to encourage our agents to become, broker owners and open their own brokerages and still be able to maintain a relationship with them. As a broker owner myself, it's amazing to be able to help people develop and grow and still keep them within, the fold, which is nice.
Well, that was key for me, because I'm not like a rock star going to go solo. It's relying on the resources that you've built on, relying on the connections that I already have, and being in the business this long. It's like there's no point. They would be dumb to scrap it all and start all over again with a clean slate, because you lose all that. So now with the resources to help me build a new team and be the broker owner of that team is ideal for me.
I'm really excited to see that. I also think it's something that happens, maybe not often, but periodically, where there is agents or even someone has a broker license but doesn't have a brokerage, and they've always been on the client facing side of that. After many years, you can kind of get fatigued by that routine and maybe naturally think that you have to leave the industry to find something else, when you can stay within the industry and just sort of change that skill set or update your skill set and pivot into something else. So
Yes.
it's great that you had that coach at that time. It was perfect timing. So, Ian, I want to discuss mentorship with you. You've mentioned before, and we've had conversations about the importance of mentorship and the piece or the part it plays in building a successful team. So can you share some insights into your approach and why that mentorship is crucial for your success?
Yeah, absolutely. So the companies we work for, right, whether it be the insurance one, TMC, or Mortgage Alliance, right, they're very good at the training aspect, training you about the products, how to do business, things like that. But unfortunately, not everybody learns the same way, and not everybody can apply what's being told, because it is kind of a cookie cutter training, right? It's just, here it is, do with what you want. And a lot of people don't know where to go. So mentorship plays a big importance, because as with the relationships with clients, you have to build a relationship with your teammates, really understand them, get to know them, how they learn, how they function, and then be able to mentor them based on their strengths and their weaknesses in their individual unique situation, right? It's not just, hey, here's my team, here's my mentorship, go do this. No, it's each person individually, helping them along their unique journey in the unique fashion that they learn and work, right? So without that, in the insurance industry especially, you get sold a dream, you come on, you get ghosted, then you go somewhere else, and you end up hopping around looking for what most people don't offer. Whereas mentorship, you can see the potential, that the dream is there, their opportunity, they can achieve that. They just need that help to get there. So it's crucial so people don't just give up on the dream or their interest, right? It's so crucial to the development of the business of the individual and their practice, right? So, whether you're, brand new or you've been in this 20 years, you need to have a mentor of some kind, some shape or form, because you remain stagnant if you don't.
I agree. The distinction between training and mentorship is really important as well. We see new agents often and they ask, what is the training? How am I going to learn? But it is that distinction to having mentorship, right? Because you can have all of the training, but if you don't know how to apply it or what the big steps are, it's really not going to be all that useful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Edward, as someone who's in the process of opening a brokerage, how do you envision incorporating mentorship and a mentorship culture into your business model? Or is it? Or do you envision something different?
Every person, every entrepreneur, every job aspect can benefit from mentorship. It's just having them realize that it is time for looking at a mentor and putting aside previous beliefs or humility sometimes. Like Ian mentioned, mentoring is very different than training. When I had the nutrition stores, I used to teach people nutrition, but it was really just regurgitating what's in the books. Nutrition is nutrition. Mentoring somebody, I was fortunate enough a few years ago to make that change in my head and my thinking that a coach and mentoring were so vital in changing how I was looking at things, my perspective on things, and how I presented myself. So mentoring is going to be vital in how I'm going to recruit and talk to my team, because the training, there's lots of training modules. We have plenty of training at the Mortgage Coach, at Mortgage Alliance. There's training modules that help teach people what they need to know. Laura's here for support anytime. You're always available for correcting people's mistakes. making
I hope I do more than that. Oh
or
my gosh.
AKA compliance. The mentoring part, if I do say so myself, I'm good at bringing people together. The networking portion of living together, working together, but also having people realize that they can do something. There's not a cannot do something. It's like position yourself, reframe it so that you can do something. If they think they don't want this, it's why. Why do you think you don't want it? Why do you think you can't do that? Then it's, well, if that's just a hurdle in your head, or if that's a hurdle that you've identified as something that is a stopping point, you know what, how do we get around it? So for me, mentoring is exactly talking through something and supporting people, empowering them to be able to.
Yeah, I agree. Often I find like as a leader or a broker or whatever title we want to say, holding that vision or that space for the person who's sort of growing into the position is so important, right? So if you can see that for them and show them what is possible, then they'll start believing it as well.
I agree. We've all seen a lot of broker owners that were super brokers, did a lot of business, and then they just couldn't translate that to the team that they've hired. Mm-hmm. And that's a downfall, and we've seen that. And because we've seen that, it's not the way to go. It's boost people up.
It is a different
Not even
skill set,
falsely. Just, if you want to do it, good. We're not going to hold your hand. Training is there, but get it in to help people identify the power that they have to be able to create something huge.
So I'm really curious because hearing about starting your own brokerage or wanting to build, another large team, to me sounds really scary and intimidating. So I'm curious to know, what are some, for you, Ian, challenges that you faced when you were building your team that maybe you kind of set back your vision, but then you were able to push through and go forward and establish that team? And for you, Edward, what challenges are you, because we know challenges always come, but what challenges are you sort of anticipating when you're starting to build your brokerage that maybe kind of have it on your radar might come up, and how you might approach those challenges? So whoever wants to go first.
I can go first. So yeah, when I made the decision to go from producer to a team builder, I went nuts recruiting, just recruit. But I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a system in place to take care of all that flood of people that was coming in. Because I got that 60 people in about 8 months, right? And a lot of them, were unlicensed. They had to get licensed. A lot of them were previously licensed, but at a separate company, which does things completely different. But because I wasn't mature as a team leader or even, an entrepreneur at that point in time, I brought these people in, said, here's the training, have at it. And I sat back. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to be rich now because that was huge. But
only.
And then I hit my goal. I hit my promotion. And then, people started leaving. Production dropped off. It was like, what's going on? And I realized that it was just like I brought in a mentor at that time as well. And you have to guide people because, again, the residual employee mindset of, I have to be told what to do, shown what to do. Nobody's really self-motivated per se. So in addition to that training, it was building that relationship with them, seeing what their goals and dreams are. Do they want to build a team? Whatever it is. So it was super difficult to do that just kind of on a whim, just doing it, building the plane as I'm flying it, I guess you could say, right? So since then, I've developed a system, a step-by-step. People come in, step, super easy to follow, and I support them along the way. So it's not only made retention better because, that was actually what they were looking for, not just more money per se or a new company. So that plus, the production, because one of the big motivators, surprisingly, is not money within the industry, right? Do more business, I'll give you more money. That doesn't really motivate people. So you have to make your daily work life fun, right? We run contests. We have our podcasts as well. We invite people on, have fun, that kind of way. So you have to get really creative into keeping people's attention and making it fun and somewhere they want to go and build up that confidence that they know they can do what you promised them they can do.
When people were leaving, so you said some people would and then they would walk away. What was the thought with that? Did we ever oh, this is not going to work? Or was it, I have to make this work because I don't want to see more people fall off?
Well, honestly, a lot of those people were brought on by people I had recruited. So it's like layers of recruitment, right? So I brought in 2 or 3, those guys brought on 10 people each or something like that. But as the leader to that, I'm still responsible for all those people in the organization. So at first it was a shock. It was like, oh my God, where are all these people going? They're giving out or whatever. No, they were brought in, and nobody talked to them. Nobody did anything. They were promised all this stuff and nothing happened. So then I'm replicating the mistakes of the other companies that they came from. So yeah, it was scary at first, and I kind of thought like, should I have waited to go for this promotion? Do I just piggyback on something that wasn't actually real? So yeah, it was super scary. But as you go through, you realize that out of say 100 people, you're only going to have 20 that actually do anything significant. The rest of them are just kind of there. They do part-time here and there. And we have a lot of zero heroes, to be honest. So you just focus on your people who are doing well, and it's quality over quantity at that point in time, right? So I'd rather have 10 strong people than 100, part-timers.
Can I hop in with a couple of questions?
Sure.
One is somewhat off topic, but 60 people at 8 months is amazing. And I'm curious if you have a trick for remembering people's names.
No, honestly, because I would talk to my immediate hires, and they would talk to their people, right? And I had one girl who was Arabic, and she just recruited tons of Arabic people, and they didn't even speak English. So I didn't even try. I just talked to her, and I was like, can you tell them this, please? Because I know how to speak Arabic.
I totally get it. And then I'm also curious, when the first couple people left in that process, as a leader, because I went through this also, did you take it personally?
I did, and then I reached out and then found out their reasons, right? Like, I'm not making enough. I have to take care of whatever it may be. So I let them know that you're always welcome. The door is always open. Go do what's important for your family, and we're always here if you decide to come back. So that kind of thing I understood, but there were some that just left with I couldn't talk. They wouldn't answer when they joined, and when they left, they wouldn't answer again. So I have no idea what actually happened.
I think it's great that you were able to take that and see where the learning was for you and the improvement, and then tweak your process and your company to fix it, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. Because you don't know what you don't know, right? And
Totally.
That comes down to the training at the company. I don't want to rag on that, but it's just a broad thing. Go talk to people, recruit them, bring them in the system. Well, then what? Yeah, exactly. So kind of had to figure that out for myself. But once I have a process down, I can give that to my people and help them recruit properly so they don't have to go through all the mistakes that I made.
So leaving off on the high road just makes you a better person. It's never burn bridges. You do the same. Keep your word. Be the person that a lot of others can't be.
Right. You do what you say and say what you do.
Right.
Totally.
So for you, Edward, going forward, what challenges are you maybe afraid of or anticipating?
The most daunting challenge that has killed me for a long time is the technology part and using my database. Now with all this AI stuff, it's like, all right, I just got used to using the old stuff. Now I got to learn new stuff. But the digital marketing, I finally have let go of thinking that I'm going to learn it all myself, and I'm going to bring people in to do it. That way it doesn't get put on the back burner. It doesn't get left behind. And that is the way that everything is growing. The other industries, it's all presence and being out there. So I'm going to invest a lot of time in that, and obviously dollars. And what you said about Ian, about people leaving for their different reasons, it's not always about money. And studies have shown that the greater reason is not feeling appreciated. So what I tend to do, whether it's a sports team or whether it's when we have games at the office, whatever, it's you bring everybody together. They've all got to feel like they're a part of it. So find different ways of making them feel appreciated without being so, I guess, cliche. But if they feel like they're invested in the growth of the team, the company, the brand, not just themselves for the money, then it is growing like a family. I prefer to do things like that. So I treat my clients like I would if they were related to me, then I would rather have that mortgage done for you this way.
I think it's really integral whenever possible to figure out what it is that motivates each person, right? Because a lot of people, they're not motivated by money at all. They just want to feel like they're part of something bigger and that they're important and valued. And then there's always going to be other people that they're in it for the dollar, and that's fine because it's very easy to read them, like how it can motivate them.
But once you read that, then you find a way, okay, so you're motivated by dollars, then let's make up what's going to motivate you to get those targets and participate in that.
So before we wrap up, I do want to know if either of you, I'm going to ask if you do. I'm going to ask for some final words of wisdom or advice for our listeners who may be considering either team building or embarking on opening their own brokerage.
Opening up your own brokerage isn't as easy as a lot of people think. We've been in the industry long enough that you can't have a super broker that can be a good broker owner at the same time. So it's not for everybody. If it'll be up to us to see and to help them identify if they're a good super broker, lots of volume, if they're more suited on having a small team around them and letting everybody else take care of having the brokers take care of payroll, training, etc. Sure, that people got to be made aware of that because not everybody is a business person.
think for me, I think the biggest thing is to be able to duplicate yourself within your organization, because you can get to a point where your team is so big and then you have everybody coming to you for answers, and that's just unmanageable and just ridiculous, right? So I mean, there are people who are superstars. You're not able to replicate that superstardom, but you are able to replicate them as a leader within your organization. So it's crucial to identify your key people that you want to work with and make sure they're on board, and then they're able to replicate what you told them to their people, and so on and so forth. So it alleviates a lot of the work to the team leader or the owner, let's say, and frees you up to continue building. So you really got to structure it properly off the beginning, or you're just going to be in a huge mess. So be intentional. Yes.
Well, we often think the same things or say the same things at the same time. Hence today, even like our clothes and stuff, we very like-minded. So.
I know we're at the end, but I do have one more question I want to ask if I can. And that is, if you could have done one thing differently, or what is one thing that you wish you'd known when you started on this journey? What would that be?
So the company I'm with now, I came from a captive company before moving into a brokerage, and what they taught me, I believed, was the end all be all. So when I came in, it's like, guys, I don't need your help. I know what I'm doing. And I mean, building a business during COVID wasn't helpful either, but I spent 2 years just spinning my tires, struggling, trying to figure this out. And it's, people are there, have done this, they're successful, the system's in place, it works, just do it. Like, it's already there. Why are you trying to reinvent the wheel all the time? So once I got out of my own way, then it made it so much easier. So again, it comes to humility, as Edward mentioned.
Rather than say humility all the time, I like using the word reframing it.
Nice.
So when you reframe it to yourself, it takes on a whole different meaning, and then you see it differently. If I could go back and undo or do things differently, it's funny because just now is the right time. I would love to say I should have done this 10 years ago, but it wasn't the right time. I didn't have the right environment around me. I didn't have a Megan and a Laura around me. I didn't have FISRA with their current changes ready to license me as an affiliate of Brokerage. And even during COVID, I got invited to sit in at a commercial real estate office. And that's one of the things that clicked, that made me say, you know what, I'm going to change everything around and turn this way to concentrate on commercial and private lending, because that's going to be key coming forward. So I would love it if it happened 5-10 years ago, but it happened at the right time, because this is where everything around me is happening.
Timing is everything.
So thank you so much, Ian, Barnett, and Edward Ricciardi. I think I butchered that name, sorry. But thanks so much for joining us and for your insights. It's been really fantastic to have you both.
Thank you.
Both excited to see all of this.
Yeah.
We're always
It's super exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Absolutely.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of The Mortgage Coach Connecting the Dots. If you've enjoyed this episode or found it valuable, please consider subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing it with someone who might benefit from this information. Your support helps us continue to bring you quality content. Join us weekly and get ready to be inspired, to learn, and to embrace possibility. And remember, success has no boundaries. It's time to connect the dots.